Hi there, Sandy here. Welcome to another Friday Findings video at my YouTube channel on my blog, keepsakecrafts.net. Today is part 4 of my studio tour. By the way, if there is something that you would like to see, a project you'd like me to make, or some more details about my studio, be sure to ask in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. So today I thought I would show you how I store my polymer clay tools and materials. And it's a pretty simple system that you can adapt really to any tools that you may have. And it starts with just one of these boxes. It's a photo box. I got it at the craft store. It's nice because it's pretty, it's fairly sturdy, and then I built my own dividers on the inside. This idea came about because first I had everything stored in a mason jar, which is a nice way to store things, except that your shorter things kind of get buried and things start falling over each other. Also, when you have a lot of sharp tools, it's easy to stab yourself and get poked. So I didn't really love this system for very long. One way you can make a mason jar work better is to add chicken wire. You just cut a piece the same size and shape as the top of your jar, and then add a ring, and now you have a great place to store paintbrushes. So this has worked really well for that. But for my polymer clay supplies, I had such a variety of sizes and shapes that I decided to make something custom. And what I used is this stuff, foam core. It's a 1/4 inch foam with paper on either side, and it's very sturdy, but you can easily cut it with a craft knife. And what I did for this box, I cut 3-inch wide strips and then marked at 1.5 inches right down the center of each of them. And then just did some measuring and cut slots right only to the halfway mark, and you make sure that the slots are as wide as the foam core is thick. And then you just cut several pieces. So I've got 5 pieces going this way. I cut this one just for stability, so it's glued to the front of the box. And then I cut some of these pieces short to make larger sections on the end here. And you just cut the slots, flip half of them over, and slot them into each other. So you can make yourself custom organizers for any tools you might have. I also cut another strip over here to divide out some other things. A few tips for cutting foam core is to use one of these, a T-square ruler. It will really help you as you set it on the edge, and then you can cut nice straight pieces. Also, use a nice sharp craft knife and don't try to get through the foam core all in one pass. Make several, maybe 5 or 6 passes gradually. That way you'll have less risk of slipping. So now I will show you my container all filled up with my tools. So here's my organizer again, but this time with all the tools in it. And I took the opportunity to resort things as I hadn't changed it since I first filled it. So I put the tools I use most often on the outside. These 3 ball tools, these 3 Christy Friesen tools, my blades, of course, popsicle sticks. But I have everything sorted in here. The ones I use least often are in the middle, and then the bigger things are in this outside section here. I have all my wavy blades and spare blades. In here I have some samples I made, like what all my perfect pearls look like on black clay, and a value finder tool, which can be helpful. In this middle section I have my clay goops for the most part. Deco gel, TLS, Repel gel. This stuff is wonderful. I just recently discovered it, Lisa Pavelka's Poly Bonder. And here's a little organizer I always pull out every time I start to create with clay. It's made out of clay. I just pulled out the tools I use the most, which are my homemade needle tools. I have a thick one. It's a tapestry needle, just embedded in some scrap clay, and a thinner one, just a smaller needle. And I use these all the time. Those on a straight edge razor blade. And this little teardrop made of clay is great for smoothing, and it's a little bit flexible. And then my drill bit, which goes in the chuck of a drill, but I just use it by hand. I use this all the time for making holes, for hanging, and different things. And in here I have a couple of containers. I think I just got this one at Walmart, but it's fantastic. It just fits nicely in the container and holds some of the things that I use a lot but don't want spilling all over the place. Toothpicks, little tools I've made for different things, some finer drill bits, a piece of crumpled aluminum foil is wonderful for texture. I like to store old liquid clay mixes in Perfect Pearls containers. They're a good size. The clay doesn't do anything to the container, and then you just label it, and then you can use it again instead of having to mix it up again. And this is one of those little, pill-a-day containers. And I have in here mostly stuff for my dragon's eyes. Some are faux glass eyes, some are just round black eyes, talons, different colors, even teeth. When you're making things like that, you're using your oven, so I like to make a bunch and then just store the extras. And then in this section I have a bunch of flat things, for a better name, a sanding sponge, a green scrubby for texture, index cards, which I'm using all the time, either for baking things or just for all sorts of uses. Texture plates, I have my hollow bead maker. Oh, these are a new favorite. These are just mesh bags from the grocery store. Garlic, avocados, onions. Awesome for texture, especially dragon scale texture. Some bits of parchment paper, sending sheets through the pasta machine. My little glass for making swirly lentils. And oh, and this, every single template I've ever drawn. If I draw a dragon wing, they all stay in here. And that way I don't have to redraw it if I need something again. When I store this box, I just put it in its lid. That helps it give it a little bit more support. And it's great to just pull the whole thing out onto my table when I'm ready to work with polymer clay. So for links to some of the supplies I showed in this video, click here to go to the accompanying blog post. Thanks so much for watching Keepsake Crafts videos. If you have an idea that you'd like me to try, please share it in the comments below and I'll see what I can do. And if you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, make sure you do for 3 new videos every week. I upload every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Make sure to follow me on Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, and on my blog. Happy creating! Bye-bye.